Hello everyone, this is a latest update for Ukraine. Let's get straight into it. Now, Ukraine war latest. Russia bombards Ukraine's infrastructure after European Parliament declares it state sponsor for terrorism. Russia launched yet another large-scale missile attack over Ukraine on November 23rd, killing civilians, damaging critical energy infrastructure and causing blackouts in much of the country, including Kiev, Lviv, as well as parts of neighbouring Moldova. Interior Minister Denis Monetrisky reported that the massive bombardment of Ukraine killed 10 people. Half of them were killed in Vyshhorod, where Russia destroyed an apartment building. 36 people were injured in Kiev Oblast alone. Governor Oleksiy Kuleb said the total number of wounded across the country is yet to be announced. In the capital, the missile struck 3 people, including a 17-year-old girl, and injured 11, according to Kiev Mayor Vitaly Klitschko, the former professional boxer and legend. He said that Russia attacked Kiev with 31 missiles, 21 of which were shot down by the air defense systems that were in place. Now, the situation in Kiev is not to be underestimated, troops. We've got an area roughly in this area of about 80% of the individuals living here are actually without electricity, which means that the mayor of Kiev actually said that they're potentially going to have to evacuate a lot of the area due to the fact that they are living without electricity, the means to cook food and everything else, heat their homes. So it's a big deal. And Vitaly Klitschko, the mayor there, is he's stated, and he's even told German newspapers that parts of Kiev may be evacuated due to the widespread power cuts amid winter. The climate is playing a major problem there. Now, this is the worst winter since World War II, according to Vitaly Klitschko. Now, if we zoom in to this map a little bit more, we can see the areas that have been annotated to the north. If we click on that, it says reports of explosions in Kharkiv. And obviously that's really close. The area itself is pretty built up, although this is showing that it's right next to or in the middle of some form of water formation there. I have no doubt to believe that in and around the surrounding areas is being hit. And if we move further south, we can see the same thing. We've got obviously infrastructure being taken out there, affecting the power lines, the communications, and everything else that goes with it. So this is really, really bad, troops, to say the least. Our good friend Denis Davidov is obviously getting the hell out of Ukraine as well. Amidst all of these problems that are going on there, he's done a fantastic job of reporting the news, and wish him well in his new travels wherever he is now. I haven't looked into it too deeply, but I do believe that he's outside of Ukraine, which is good. He's safe now, and he can report on this whole matter from a safer perspective. Okay, so a perspective that I've been reporting from, which is nice to know, troops. So best wishes to Denis Davidov, and I'm glad you're out of that hellhole, okay? You should be proud of what you've done over the past few months. So let's talk about power outages. As a result of the strikes, 3 Ukrainian nuclear power plants, Ravine, South Ukraine, and Kamenetsky, were disconnected from Ukraine's energy grid. The nuclear energy company Energoatom reported. After a brief energy shutdown, all of the reactors, the nuclear power plants are back on, yet are still disconnected from the grid. The Russian-occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant also experienced energy shortages and went dark. Respectively, the power outages were reported across Ukraine as Russia's attacked energy infrastructure. So it seems as if they're obviously, we've seen them pushed out of Kherson here, and that comes with its own problems for both sides. But what Russia seems to be doing now is upping the ante in terms of taking out power infrastructure, so that the occupation or the reoccupation for Ukraine within these regions are a lot more difficult. Okay, so we've even heard earlier that certain mayors, Klitschko's thinking about, evacuating Kiev, okay, because of the power outages. And the winter in Ukraine is something that can't be survived. Like I can survive winter in the United Kingdom without power. It's not as easy as that, okay. But we are seeing this ripple effect into other countries, all right? We are seeing this have a bit of an effect on Moldova now, the power and energy supply systems that are affecting their country as a result of these power shortages, okay? Kharkiv Oblast governor also reported that the entire oblast faced a temporary blackout. So, yeah, we've got problems in the east as well. Okay. Now, in the west, the city of Lviv was left without electricity. The mayor said the electricity was restored around 9:30 p.m. However, he said that the scheduled blackouts would remain in effect. So there's problems ongoing all over the place, really. The president's office deputy head reported that at 11 p.m. electric supplies partially or fully remained in 15 Ukrainian oblasts and Kiev. So it's a power problem at this moment in time, and that power problem couldn't have happened at a worse time. The height of winter. It's cold now anywhere in most of Europe, and if you look at the way Ukraine is situated, they're going to be suffering quite a lot there, guys. All right, so my thoughts and prayers go out to them for this problem, and yeah, it's just a terrible time. But after a series of Russian mass missile strikes on Ukraine's energy infrastructure, practically a big thermal and hydroelectric power plant in the country have been damaged, according to Volodymyr Karinsky, the head of Ukraine's state grid operator. So there's big problems. Russia has been targeting Ukraine's critical infrastructure since early October, admitting that the country's energy facilities are its primary goal. So it's not as if they haven't been stating that this is what they want to do, okay? This is what they've been emphasizing that they're going to hit. And is there any real way around it? When you think about, if we look at the map here, yes, you've got air defense systems and stuff like that that are going to be integral to stopping some of these bombardments, but they're not going to stop everything. That's one problem that we know is going to happen. So if they can keep on attacking the critical infrastructure, Ukraine is going to suffer, and I don't really know what the answer is to that. More effective air defense systems, but that's a big movement of big machinery and infrastructure. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Certainly it's not going to happen or improve in the next few weeks or months, guys. All right, so if this continues, Ukraine is going to suffer. What's going to happen as a result? Well, Ukraine has to target the main areas in which these missiles and these strikes have been launched from. So that's when you start getting into more specialist operations, getting your more specialized individuals, special forces and stuff involved to get right behind enemy lines to tackle it from the point of execution. So this is going to be really difficult. It's going to be really interesting to see how this develops. And yeah, my thoughts go out to everyone who is suffering from this, guys. But it is being condemned by Europe. We've heard Joe Biden on there saying that, European Parliament has actually labelled Russia a state sponsor of terrorism. So this is going deeper than, this is going a lot deeper, a lot quicker, guys, all right? Now, hours before before this bombardment happened in Ukraine, European Parliament passed a resolution marking Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism, saying Moscow's deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure and targets, including energy infrastructure, schools and shelters, as well as the odd hospital we've seen recently as well, violate international law. We don't have to talk too much about this to know that what's happening in Ukraine violates international law in many different ways and forms, okay? You can't just go targeting schools and hospitals and stuff like that. This is Billy basic stuff of war. Everyone knows that international law has been broken with that regard, okay? Now, Zelensky welcomed the European lawmakers' decision yesterday, saying that Russia must be isolated at all levels and held accountable in order to end its long-standing policy of terrorism in Ukraine and across the globe. Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba called on the world in August to make a move to label Russia a state sponsor of terrorism. No business, no contracts, no cultural projects, he said. We need a wall between civilization and barbarians striking peaceful cities with missiles. So, strong words from strong people wanting stronger actions against Russia. Will it work? I guess we'll find out, troops.